just not be the same. This is that. I mean, we're not talking about this now, but just while it's fresh in my mind, this talk about jail. Like someone mentioned it so beautifully. I was watching a documentary about this guy. He goes into jail and he does art classes with the inmates, right? And he says the reason he does the work in jails is because he thinks people that are in jail are just totally demonized by society, because they are judged and sentenced for the rest of their life on one negative action that they could have done so much great. Then they done one bad thing and say, okay, that's it. You're just bad. The rest of your life you're in here. And I was thinking about that, and you're like, yeah, that's horrible, man.
It is, and it's also because you haven't got the foresight to know about, or insight, I should say, about consequences. Because I noticed when you're younger, that's the first time you're doing everything, right? So you don't really know that
You're
what
gonna
the
make
consequences
mistakes,
be.
man. Yeah.
But that's
When you learn those consequences, you sharpen up real quick.
I was speaking to my friend today, and we was talking about when they're talking about what's his name? Is his name Stardom? And he's just got a recent interview that's circling around, and he talks about how he was in the gang, whatever. He's lost his friend. He's in the streets, whatever. Then he's still playing football, and he had a pro contract offered to him by Aston Villa, and he didn't take it. He still went to the thing and then went into the music. Now the first reaction would be, oh my days, like, are you insane? Like, you got a chance to come out of the life or anything like that, what you doing? But going back to the consequence of like that one action or whatever, there's no separation of what is he thinking. Should I take the football contract because I'll be off the road? He's just in it. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? He's just submerged in it.
Yeah.
So going back to the whole morally this and all that, you could have a lifetime of you'll regret that action that you've got caught for, but then maybe, do you know what I'm saying? It's not as pure as it could be with the artist thing. So you know, you could get things like that.
It's mad. What is actually? I'm glad you brought up about relationships. Currently in a relationship? Can we ask you?
No, is the answer.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say no. You can't ask.
No is the answer.
No comment.
No is the answer. I'm currently dating, and I'm trying to. Man, the dating landscape, bruv. Right now, in my mind, because everyone lives in their own realities, right? So you've got traditionalists, then you've got people that are just really liberal, doing their own thing. And one thing I've learned, again, going back to Esther Perel stuff, that nowadays relationships are constant negotiation. Like, you can't go into something assuming these are the rules, these are the regulations, this is how black and white it is. Because someone else has got a whole heap of different rules on, because of different cultural ideals, different traditional kind of backgrounds and whatnot, that you need to go in there, you need to meet someone, you need to say, okay, this is who I am, this is what I want, this is what I think a relationship is. They say the same thing, and then you start working the whole thing out. So everything that I've learned about relationships has been absolutely blown out of the water. And now with the social landscape just kicking in the way it is, everyone's swiping left, right, up, down, and all this kind of madness. Yeah, all this. Do you know what I mean? Just them hiring interns, you know, to swipe right on your Tinder while you're getting on with work, just so you can bang a couple more. Allow it, man. Yeah, it's all a mess. So I'm trying my best to navigate this.
I've spoke about this before, and I've said that the quality of people have just gone down anyway. I'm glad I got out when I did.
Good. No, there's some truth to that, you know. I don't know if the quality of people have gone down.
So everyone's just
I just think people have.
Like me on the engagement list there.
I just think there's a bigger, wider lens on the truth. Yeah. That's always been there. Yeah. And on top of that, I think people have now been given more license to just express both sides of who they really are. Yeah. Like, no one's trying to come out there. Remember, I don't know if you're a big Chris Rock fan. Yeah. But back in the day, one of his jokes, he said, when you go on a date for the first time, you don't meet the person, you meet their representative. You have to go on a couple dates before you actually meet the actual you. Yeah. You know, the actual person. Do you know what I mean? And now I think people are just nearer to themselves from the jump, and I think they expect more. Also, with the fact that there's a paradox of choice.
You know what?
Everything's so throwaway, right?
I know, but I think they expect more, but they don't give more. So I'm a bit like, how can you ask for stuff that you don't embody yourself?
The checklist.
So if you're, I don't know, if you're like an emotionally intelligent guy, or you're secure in who you are, or you're comfortable with your job, or whatever it may be, you can ask for those same things of someone else, right? But if you weren't those things and didn't have those tick those boxes to your own self, how can you ask someone else for those requirements? That's always my beef.
Another thing is, as you go through life, I think it's a thing where like you just, I think that pedestal thing starts knocking down.
Women are trash.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like the pedestal.
Our view.
Is that your cameraman?
Women
That's
are
why
trash.
he's behind the camera, innit? Making flying comments like that, you know. Women are trash. Man's just throwing in a bomb into our conversation.
Don't worry,
Did he mean that, or is he just trying to wind us all up?
I don't know. What do you think, Joe?
We've had this conversation loads of times.
Because
you think about it, a woman, a man has to come here, innit? Like a guy can't be on his way up. He has to be at a level.
I don't know about that.
Like, okay,
It doesn't it come down to the woman?
In a different way.
Or the partner?
An unsuccessful woman can be in a room full of successful men and feel at home, but an unsuccessful man can't be in a room full of successful women and feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
I understand what he's saying. I understand what he's saying. I think this is I think this is more a conversation around masculine ideals. That's what I think this is, because if a man feels less of himself because he doesn't feel he's successful, that's because of the narrative of masculinity that's running in his head.
That's one way of putting it. But do you
Or
agree
you could
with
just
this?
be Kevin Federline.
You know what?
Take every celebrity and ruin their life slightly and take the bag.
Always secure the bag. Always. It's a major key.
Yeah, I'm painting this picture of you still, you know. These are all the quotes that makes up who you are in my head. Always secure the bag. That's the first thing.
I'm going to end up being put on the ground. Yeah. Well, when I met Rob, he said that women are trash and secure the bag. I'm just saying.
Just secure the bag. And
but I will say this. You know what I sent you? What I sent him was something about women. Men don't care about women's ambitions, careers. Women's don't care about how ambitious a woman is, or what her successful, or what her career's like. Yeah. Do you agree with that statement?
That men don't care.
Men don't care.
When you're initially meeting a woman, you're not really bothered about none of them things. There.
Do you know what? I just think there's a case for nuance here. Like, it's hard for me to answer that question and just paint everyone. With the same thing, like generally, even generally, my answer can only be localized, right? Because I'm a Londoner, born and bred in London, and the majority of my life experience is around London. So, taking that into question, do I feel that men are less worried about a women's like career trajectory or ambition?
More about the fact is, it's like if you're, well, it goes back to this old thing that I always say. If you was to meet a woman and you go back to your friends and say, I've met this woman, what is the first question they will ask you?
How big is her titties?
Basically, right?
That's one group of friends.
Yeah, but among that demographic. Now, if the same woman who's met you is going back to her friends, what are her friends going to say to her?
What does he do?
Okay.
Right, these are the generalizations.
I've always said that, because no matter how you spin things, we look for different things. Women are generally, this is all generalization, it's not speaking for everyone, but where men initially are drawn in by beauty or attraction, and women are drawn in by security or success. No matter what level that success is, it's about that's what appeals to women.
You could look like Shabba Ranks and have Jay-Z's money.
And Jay-Z's probably the example, you know what I mean?
I mean, you could look like Jay-Z and have Jay-Z's money. It's the same thing, to be honest with you.
This is what I'm saying. I don't think that's wrong or right, but it's worth noting, and I think that's why it goes back to our point of saying about men don't care about women's success, ambition, etc., because that's initially what men don't look for, and even past that, they're more concerned with the relationship and more of the femininity of the woman.
But that might be with age, though. But
a woman being ambitious, doesn't knock her femininity. It says nothing about femininity to me. Nothing whatsoever.
But I would say 10 years ago and now, would I be drawn in or attracted to a woman because of what she does or what car she drives or her career? No. And that's both periods of my life.
So she could just be rolling down the ends on a tricycle. Homeless, but she's banging.
Okay.
So there needs to be some level.
Okay, well, I'm talking about.
I don't know about homeless.
I'm not going
to stupid to make a point, right?
It makes sense. It does make sense.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying that I would never belittle her.
Yeah, cool. I'll tell you the story. No, honestly, I did that in St. Lucia.
Oh, Jesus.
No, but the outcome.
Yeah.
The outcome was you finish first.
I won't belittle her in the same way. Like a man will not belittle a woman in the same way if she worked in, I don't know, Tesco's or Sainsbury's or Asda, in the way that women would if a man works in Tesco's, Sainsbury's or Asda. Meaning that that's not going to bother me. Like, as long as she has her own money in the sense of she's not a bum, which as you've described, because that sounds like a sexy bum, basically. Not the physical.
Not
right?
batty.
Yeah. So it sounds more that she's just not ambitious, or in the sense of she's just looking to freeload off her beauty, which is a different conversation. But that's not part of the attraction. The attraction on that would be her beauty, but then it would be like, well, what else has she got? But that's not what I'm not saying that career, ambition and dreams and at one end of the spectrum and then beauty at the end, and that's it, because it isn't just about beauty. It's a lot more as the character of a woman, but the things you look for are more character, more physical and more emotional based, and women's are usually more socially based as well, and who's the most dominant.
Yeah. No, what I was saying is, when I was in
the St. Lucia thing,
yeah, it was funny because this is going way back still, actually.
Choose your words carefully, yeah.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
No. It was what you were saying. Like, if you saw somebody that was, I know, she looked good and stuff like that, but she's homeless, she ain't got shit, then whatever. Are you still gonna holler at it? And basically, there was one girl that was walking up the hill. We're coming in the car, going up the hill and everything. We're going, oh my, there's bare hills in St. Lucia. Like, so we're going up.
Maybe
and
that's why their back is strong.
Yeah, listen, the leg, the thigh. Anyway, don't get me in trouble. Like, so we're going up the hill and everything. So we passed her the first time, and we're like, wow, she looks nice here now. Whatever. And then afterwards, she stopped just by like where you get the little mini transit van for the bus. So I was just like, listen, as nice as she is, you have to say to yourself, do you want that qualm with her standing by the bus stop? Why is she at the bus stop and she looks that good? There's something wrong there.
Nah,
they thought it was funny. I know, but it was shallow.
Yeah.
But my brain actually did think for that split second of like, hold on, we just going for the looks out here, but we're not even asking what problems is coming with this, because everybody comes with their baggage as you get older. That's what I said. It's
that's one thing you realise, isn't it? That no one is flawless.
No, at all. At all.
Bar Rob, obviously.
I'm getting married.
I'm just I'll never be. Man is getting married not because he is flawless, which could be potentially true, but it's because I've become less flawless or I've been accepted with my flaws.
Yeah, you've made peace with your humanity, innit?
Yeah,
man.
I just
I hear that.
It's nice. Retirement is nice, boys.
That's retirement.
I know. You've been retired.
Where are you retiring from, bro?
Yeah.
Running hose.
Wow.
Running hose.
Wow. I hope this speech never comes up at your wedding, blood.
Wow.
You get me? Like,
okay.
His best man then is just like,
it's not going in the vows. Well, now it's not.
Your best man is going to use this material. I remember when Rob was running hose. Everybody like, what did he just say?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jesus.
It might be a
I mean, obviously, I'm not being disrespectful. I just mean
by calling women hoes.
I'm running them. You're running them.
It sounds like a pimp.
Yeah.
Like running a brothel. Anyway, where were we though?
I mean, in the sense of dating women and seeing women, and you know what I mean, like all of that's done. I've got the one that I want and I'm happy.
Yeah.
And that's it. So and when you have the one that you want, you don't want to do any sort of running, even from her. Even if she does drive you crazy. Sometimes.
You made that up very nice. That was smooth.
Flawless.
Yeah. I'm not going to ruin your relationship. I'm going to stop my thought process there. What were we saying prior to that?
Yeah.
The St. Lucia, the hill thing. Right.
I said like, no, it sounded very shallow and funny at the time because I was busting a joke. But it was, for me, from that point on, I was actually saying, why don't men actually sit down and say to themselves, like, I wonder what she does? Because you not automatically think like men, we go for women, we're gonna be the breadwinner, we're gonna be the protector, whatever. So you don't really care for none of that at the beginning stage. You just wanna, well, let's just be honest. You're looking at it sexually. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not really looking at it as like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna have a nice house and a picket fence, and we're gonna have kids, and I'm gonna bring the bread home, and she's gonna cook dinner. You're not even thinking silliness. Like. It's like, I like the look of her. Let's go in.
Yeah.
So.
And there's many a crashes you have when you think like
all
that,
day.
you know?
And that's why you need to be careful when you say you want the baddie.
Oh yeah.
When my neighbor saying I want the baddie or the what's it called?
Never feed the
girl
baddest
summer.
pasta.
City
Never
girls.
feed the baddest pasta.
Nah, bro.
What's that mean? Never been the baddest pasta.
That's something that Fredo says, which is hilarious.
Basically, I think he just kicked out a chick out. He's
Pasta's cheap though.
I know, and he doesn't even want to feed that to her.
Pasta's 60p.
Where are you buying your pasta from?
Morrison's.
Oh wow. I don't really eat carbs.
Right, here we go.
Here
we go.
The
ideal man.
Yeah,
I don't even need carbs.
No, but I think you're right. I mean, you know what? When you're younger and you're inexperienced and you haven't had a lot of dating or relationship experience, you do think stuff like that. But as you go on, you realise a bit more. I mean, what is your ideal woman?
Jesus. Right.
Potentially, you can.
Yeah, good question. This is interesting, right? Because if you were to ask me this, let's say 10 years ago, the first thing I would do is go in with aesthetics, right? So I mean, that's still a big part of it. But now the first thing is emotional intelligence. So if the woman I feel that I will be attracted to would be an emotionally intelligent woman that knows herself, that has actually done work on herself, and that I can engage with intellectually and emotionally, I think, first and foremost. It would be nice if she found me attractive and laughed at my shit jokes. Yeah, it does help. Yeah, man, like, you have to laugh at my jokes, actually. That's the most important thing. Even fake the ting, just humour me. And what did he say?
You have to. Women aren't funny.
I think his general views. I love
the
him.
Safety of
he needs to have a voice. You need to add him as a character in the thing, just the off voice, just the off-camera voice.
Women are trash campaign.
Oh shit. Yeah, and in terms of looks now, I don't think I can pin it down. Like I've met so many different women and been in so many different circles that if I find you attractive, I find you attractive. And now sometimes I can't pin it. It's an energy which I could see a woman and be like, she's alright, and then get to know her, and I'll be like, then the actual physical attraction grows as the connection grows. Yeah. Okay. So I think first for me is
intelligence and emotion.
Emotional intelligence.
And then no one can get it if they've got that. But you know what? That's a hard tell now, because a lot of people don't have.
Because everyone's got their best on.
Yeah, and
everyone's got their best on.
People don't know themselves, I feel. And I don't know. I think I've said that before. Like, a lot of people are lost. It's mad. It is mad. But yeah, I think you haven't found it yet, I'm guessing.
See her. Oh, so this goes back to. I mean, you mentioned the one. I don't believe that there is one anymore. I used to believe it. Like, that's a romantic ideal, and I think romanticism has just been. Again, this all comes from my study in School of Life. Like, big up School of Life. They are honestly the go-to for emotional intelligence and understanding truth. I've read their book on relationships, another one on sex, and they say that romantic ideals have been a disaster for true love, because we have this romantic head on we're gonna find the one, everything's gonna be great, and then we're chasing this bullshit projection like that doesn't exist. Disney's a prick. Disney needs a full finishing combo, uppercut, backhand.
We need an update.
Back foot.
What happened to Cinderella?
Exactly. What happens after the credits?
Yeah, no, but you know what it is? I think that if mostly young girls, I should say, are watching things like this, they do want. I think they men, regardless, people. But I do think that they do want to be. The premise is quite similar in the sense they want to feel like they are a princess and have the happily ever after is a bit skeptical on that one, but initially it's the feeling of someone overcoming obstacles and being the kind of knight in shining armor and being together at the end, and that's majority from the woman's point of view, but from a male's point of view, it's the chase and the adventure of getting a woman and finding and getting a woman of in some cases high caliber and who suits you. But it's just a different outlook, I feel. Yeah. But I do agree that they're a bit more well, we know that as well, and even as we go on and we see all the rom-coms, it doesn't work out like that anymore.
Yeah, they're like going back to the one thing as well. So just to finish my thought on that, I don't think there is the one. I think there are loads of potential ones that will, and it's not about. It's just about, is someone good enough? Does that person tick enough boxes to reach a tipping point where I say, you know what, I'm going to try a thing as opposed to I'm going to leave. And when there's enough good things about someone, you can enter a relationship with them, and then you work on the relationship, because it's you, your partner, and then the relationship, which is the string that connects both people. That's the thing you're working on, how these things work together, as opposed to two separate entities.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because the two separate entities are the people in the relationship. So boy, girl, man, whatever it may be, and then the relationship is a third.
That's
thing.
So that distinction really helped me out.
Yeah, because you know what it is. I've seen people who cannot function without another person. Yeah. So they can't be single.
That worries me sometimes.
I think that's detrimental sometimes. That might have worked back then.
No, but
it's in traditional times.
I personally seen someone who has behaved like that, and then when they are by themselves, they have crumbled completely. Yeah. Just from that, but then is that you need to, like, I always used, like, I was trying to understand, like, I couldn't understand it because that's just not my experience, you know. But you should always, I always say this to everyone, being in a relationship's great and all the rest of it, but you still need a level of knowing yourself, having your independence, like just doing you, because you were a person before you was in a relationship. This is why I always had this beef with doing everything as a couple, couples this and couples dinner.
Yeah, you need to have your own.
To me, it just was never a thing to me, because I was like, I was still a person before I was in a couple. What? So now I have to just do. You know what I mean? Like now your friends are my friends, even though they're dickheads. Yeah. Not really buying it.
I agree, bruv. I think there's more chance of a relationship being successful if both parties have spent a lot of time alone and actually know who they are and what they want.
Yeah. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett said that.
Listen,
when she was feeling down, her and Will had the conversation, and he said to her straight, "It's like, I can't make you happy. You have to make yourself happy."
Yeah.
And then, you know, she went off, did her thing, and whatever. And then
I think it's about contributing to their happiness. You have to have your own individual happiness, right? As a
I think that's first. I think that's a prerequisite.
Yeah, and then, but when you're relying on another person for your happiness.
It can only add to it. Should complement.
Yeah, exactly.
It shouldn't be a void that needs filling. I don't.
Yeah, for me, I think that's why, because we complement each other. There's this talk of complementing each other.
Yeah.
I'm still, well, I'm not the same person exactly, but I'm.
Your nature's your nature.
No more one in hose. But
yeah. I'm glad.
I hope that's not a part of your nature.
More hose for me.
So it's just like having my own individual space. Like for me, I like to go to the gym. I like to exercise. I like to train. So I have friends who are in that kind of thing as well. So that's how I spend my time with my friends, and that's my thing. That's what I need for myself. You know what I mean? And there's certain aspects of my work which I do by myself, because and then there's certain things which is just mine in that kind of way. And that sounds a bit selfish, but then there's also things.
It's not selfish.
I don't
also
necessary, bruv.
There's also things which are just hers.
Yeah, you're two separate beings that have agreed to work as a union.
Yeah.